as stated in a meta-analysis of 5 studies by René Argenal in 2019. Tragically, prevention and treatment services for non-communicable diseases like cancer were severely disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic and its resulting lockdown. In an informal survey by the Philippine Society of Medical Oncology among their members last year, they determined that 73.91% of their patients deteriorated or died. Your Honor, Mr. Speaker, indeed, to unpack the data being presented on breast cancer is to uncover the conditions of our women. When data says the risk of breast cancer has increased from 1 in 22 to 1 in 8 over the years, we must ask, how have our women become more exponentially prone to breast cancer? Aside from the established risk factors related to women's reproductive cycle, like early age upon menstruation, late age at first full-term pregnancy, number of children she has, weight, and genetic predisposition, there is indication that women who work the graveyard shift may face up to 60% higher risk of breast cancer compared to those who never work at night. Apparently, nighttime sleep deprivation or exposure to light at night somehow interrupts melatonin production. It stimulates the ovaries to release additional estrogen, which is a known hormonal promoter of breast cancer. This was indicated in a study by the US-based Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center as cited in www.pinoyinaction.com on February 12, 2010. Clearly, cancer control in our country has to address this matter because as per data from the International Labor Organization way back in 2016, the business process outsourcing industry in the Philippines that had reached 1.3 million was already composed of 53.2% women. Mr. Speaker, may I propose that the DOH, if need be, prepare supplemental funds in its proposed 2023 budget for cancer prevention and awareness. There must be particular focus directed to the greater number of women in the workforce of the BPO industry who are at greater risk due to their nighttime work schedule. The National Integrated Cancer Control Act, or NICA, seals our commitment to the establishment of a cancer control policy in every workplace. As stated, and I quote, "It shall form part of employee benefits in the formal sector, covering the entire cancer continuum, including genetic counseling and testing, to screening, diagnosis, and palliative care, treatment, rehabilitation, survivorship, or hospice care." Notable with the NICA is a cancer assistance fund that we must fund robustly to help pay for treatment, expand field health benefit packages in cancer, and support bigger cancer awareness campaigns. After all, it has been determined that 70% of those who have breast cancer in our country are indigents. Before the pandemic, I myself have experienced sponsoring free medical missions for breast and cervical examinations, as well as bukol surgery with our partner surgical teams from St. Luke's Foundation and my own local club, Suroptimist International of May Kawayan. They are here in the gallery right now in support of this advocacy. Sadly, in our communities, we would see patients with unignored symptoms who were apprehensive of burdening their loved ones and therefore they first tried out alternative medicine alone, which then caused further delay in getting cancer treatment. The irony of this in breast cancer is that it is treatable at the early stage. May I also point out that while rare, breast cancer also affects men. Yes, it happens because men have breast tissue too. So may I just be vocal now about the cultural unease from talking about SUSO. Shame and fear delay treatment and compound the myth or misunderstanding that breast cancer examination is needed only if a lump or pain is felt. This much is indicated in a 2018 study by Wu and Lee, where among 944 women in Leyte, over 80% had never had clinical breast examination, while only 8% reported having had a mammogram. In both cases, these services were sought not for screening purposes, but for diagnosis because apparently the women were already feeling some symptoms. To reiterate, let me emphasize two words: routine screening and screening. A population-based screening program is an effective cost and life saver. Breast care examinations and mammograms must be a normal part of our women's routine checkups at the age of 40, a proactive way of asserting that breast cancer is preventable and treatable. Sa aking mga kasuso, sa aking mga kaisang dibdib, yes, by breast friends among our legislators, we must invest and implement cost-effective programs for cancer control and early detection. Let us make sure that our whole cancer care infrastructure gets the robust funding to reduce the disease burden on our people. Mr. Speaker, we have every reason to celebrate Pink October. With timely intervention, breast cancer need not be a death sentence. Women can and do recover to go on and live healthy and hope-filled lives. For this year's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the AWLFI is conducting free breast and cervical screening for the mighty women workforce of these chambers. We undertook this when I was the president of AWLFI in the 17th Congress, and AWLFI shall continue advocating this timely endeavor. Furthermore, one of the AWLFI's fundraising beneficiaries before was the PGH Children's Cancer Unit. Now we are partnering with Suroptimist International of Ortigas and the Environs, which has not only been conducting these services for free to indigent cancer patients with its partner for 2 decades now, the Philippine Cancer Society Incorporated, but continues to raise funds so it can continue to expand its breast cancer advocacy to more communities. Our upcoming event shall be undertaken in cooperation with the Committee on Women and Gender Equality, the HREP GOD Focal Point, and the HREP Medical and Dental Service. Pre-registration forms shall be made available, and we hope that around 100 from the House Secretariat and congressional staff shall avail of the free breast and cervical screening on October 6, 2022 at the North Wing Lobby. Dr. Romeo Marcaida, Program Director of the Philippine Cancer Society, shall also hold an awareness lecture on breast and cervix health. Then, after results of the screenings are determined, patients with findings may also benefit from free ultrasound and cryotherapy treatment. May I also take this opportunity to thank our AWLFI chairperson, Representative Yeda Marie Romualdez, for her inspiration and her continued commitment to the AWLFI's breast cancer advocacy. Thank you for this occasion, Mr. Speaker, to shine a light on the need to safeguard the breast cancer risk of our women in the workforce and to usher with hope the celebration of Pink October, the Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the House of Representatives. Mabuhay ang kababaihan.
Mr.
Maraming
Speaker,
salamat po.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Speaker. I'd like to recognize the Honorable Congresswoman Janet Karin for her interpellation.
Congresswoman Janet Karin is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, will the gentle lady, the distinguished lady from Bulacan yield to a few questions?
Honored Representative Janet Garin, our former Department of Health Secretary. I'm sure that you are the better expert of this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The reason why your speech caught my attention, not only me as a mother, as a doctor, but many other women here who are at risk of developing cancer. May I know, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, the age of women usually inflicted with breast cancer? Mga ilang taon po ang mga babaeng nagkakasakit ng breast cancer?
Kasi wala na yatang age ngayon eh. Even children, they also, I've heard that there are also children who are now having this, have been diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, yung bang mga nagkakasakit ng cancer, karamihan ba sa kanila meron ding mga anak at may pamilya?
Yes.
And
Kaya ang sabi ko nga kanina, kailangan ng tulong ang mga indigents kasi sila yung mas nagkakaroon ng ganitong sakit.
And Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, sa ganitong sitwasyon po ba, ang ibig sabihin ba dito, isang nanay na nagkakasakit ng cancer ay nagdadala ng dagok sa buong kakayahan ng pamilya, kumain, magpaaral, maghanap buhay. Ibig sabihin, the certain case of breast cancer in a family actually pulls down the economic status of that family. We are distinguished president of AWLFI agree to the statement.
I'm pretty sure talaga hong affected ang family. Kasi ito ay tuloy-tuloy ang treatment at hindi naman ito yung mura lang na treatment kundi very expensive for a family that is poor.
And Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, sa kultura po kasi natin mga Pilipino, bahala ng isang ang lahat, masalba lang ang buhay. Hindi po ba ganun tayo, lalo na't kapag babae ang natatamaan ng sakit? Sangayon po ba dito yung ating distinguished representative?
I didn't get your...
Sa kultura ng Pilipino, kapag merong isang nanay na nagkakasakit, lalo na't ito'y cancer at sabi nyo nga masakit sa bulsa, kalimitan ang nangyayari ay isinasangla ang lahat-lahat. Bahala ng maubos, mabuhay lang si nanay. Sang-ayon po ba dito, Mr. Speaker, yung ating kagalang-galang na representante?
Siyempre, isasanla kung talagang wala ng pagkukuhanan dahil siyempre ang buhay natin ay napakahalaga, lalo't lalo na kung ikaw ang ina ang nagkakaroon ng sakit, pati na rin yung mga anak mo, maaapektuhan na rin sila.
In other words, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, narinig po natin kanina at klarong-klaro po na hinaing ng ating kagalang-galang na representante ay kung maaga sana na malalaman na may cancer or breast cancer ang isang babae, ay matutulungan at masasalba yung kanyang buhay because based on what we understand with science, it's actually one of the most treatable cancer among female. Ganun po ba ang ating pag-intindi?
Ganun nga ang, as I said, sa ating mga studies ay treatable in the early stage of cancer. So sana hindi natin hintayin na may maramdaman at sana nga, sabi ko nga, screening ang kailangan natin at magkaroon din tayo ng routine check-up.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, it's laudable that we are hearing from a fellow female legislator the importance of saving our women from this deadly but preventable cancer. So, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, minsan po ang palagi nating hinaing ay maghanap ng solusyon sa isang problema. But we do laud our leader among women legislators because she is not only standing for a cause, but she is making all our voices loud and clear to be heard na sa panahon ngayon na meron namang gamot at sana wala na o kung maibsan ang namamatay sa breast cancer, we all set aside budget, we all make people more aware dahil kung maaga na nalalaman na may breast cancer or nagsisimula pa lang ang sakit na ito sa isang babae, ay hindi lang buhay niya ang ating maisasalba, pero maisasalba natin ang kanyang pamilya, ang kanyang mga mahal sa buhay, ang ekonomiya nila, at ang kanyang mga apo na hinihintay ang kanyang pag-asikaso. With that, Mr. Speaker, let me congratulate our leader among the female legislators because she is the exact replica of how and what a concerned mother should be. Congratulations, and may you be very successful in this endeavor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Representative Janet Garvin.
Thank you, Congressman Gawin and Congresswoman Villarica. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to recognize the Honorable Arlene Brosas for her manifestation.
The Congresswoman Arlene Brosas is now recognized for her manifestation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this representation fully supports the advocacy of the good sponsor, Representative Villarica, on the commemoration of the Pink October Breast Cancer Awareness Month. While we underscore the need to raise the capacity of our public health system to become more responsive to women's health issues, Mr. Speaker, batay sa ilang pag-aaral, maging ang impormasyon at awareness hinggil sa self-breast examination ay hindi laganap at may mali pang pag-unawa. At isang salik dito ay ang kawalan ng institusyonal na promosyon ng breast cancer awareness sa ating bansa. Kapos na kapos din ang breast cancer screening services na mayroon sa mga pampublikong ospital at health centers. Mammography remains cost prohibitive for many Filipino women, and screening mammography is not readily available in many rural areas in the country. Kaya po, napakahalaga ang isinusulong na advokasya ng ating butihing sponsor. Kaugnay ng breast cancer awareness. Kaisa po kami sa Gabriela Party List sa adhikaing ito at patuloy nating iginigiit ang pagpondo sa serbisyong kalusugan, partikular sa mga kababaihan. The whole spectrum of services in relation to women's health has been relegated to the backseat for so long. It is high time that we take these issues to the fore and help uplift the state of Filipino women's health and promote accessibility and affordability of public health services in general. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker. Maraming salamat po kay Congresswoman Villarica sa kanyang pagpuput forward ng breast cancer awareness month. Maraming salamat.
Thank you,
Maraming
Congressman
salamat.
Brosas, for that manifestation, the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also move that we recognize the Honorable Edsel Lagman for his manifestation.
The gentleman from the 1st District of Albay, Congressman Edsel Lagman is now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But to profusely congratulate her for a very outstanding privilege speech. The reproductive health law also covers the prevention treatment of cancer.
Yes.
And I would like to confirm that breast cancer also afflicts men.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, several years ago, a male member of this house was afflicted with cancer, and he was able to recover, and he went back to serve his constituents. But I would like to share an unfortunate information to the distinguished representative Lenabel Villarica. Department of Health, during its budget hearing, told the Committee on Appropriations that it has zero appropriation for the prevention and treatment of cancer. And their proposal was not approved by the Department of Budget and Management on cancer prevention and treatment. I would like to urge the collective wisdom of this House next week when we consider the budget of the General Appropriations Bill to appropriate the necessary amounts in the budget of the Department of Health for the treatment and prevention of all types of cancer, including breast cancer. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and congratulations again, Your Honor.
Thank you, Congressman Lagman, for that manifestation. The Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to move that we, for her manifestation, the Honorable Ruth Mariano Hernandez via Zoom. Honorable Speaker, I so move.
Congresswoman Ruth Hernandez is now recognized via Zoom.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the recognition to give way for my short manifestation. Magandang hapon po sa inyo and to the members of this august body. Mr. Speaker, firstly, this representation congratulates and commends our colleague, Representative Leni Villarica, for bringing up the issue of breast cancer in view of the upcoming Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, may I manifest that individual and institutional efforts of government and of the private sector are important to address this disease. We all have roles to play in advocating breast cancer awareness. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, in support to our shared advocacy on breast cancer awareness, particularly in Laguna, we are continuing convergence initiatives with the national and the Laguna provincial government. As part of this effort, we are putting up a women wellness center in Bae District Hospital that is situated in my hometown at Bae, Laguna. This center is dedicated to women's health issues, including breast cancer prevention and awareness, and diagnostic and screening laboratory workup for breast. Convergence, coming together and helping each and every woman and her family on the local level is crucial in the nationwide campaign for breast cancer awareness. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague. On that note, again, my utmost appreciation and congratulations to our dear colleague and breast cancer awareness advocate, Representative Leni Ruth Villarica. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Magandang hapon po muli sa inyo at sa lahat ng mga kasamahan sa 19th Congress.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize Representative Franz L. Castro of Party List Act Teachers for a privileged speech.
The representative of the Party List ACT Teachers, Representative Franz Castro, is now recognized.
Maraming salamat, Ginoong Speaker. Magandang hapon, Ginoong Speaker, sa mga kapwa ko kinatawan at sa ating mga kababayan. Sa darating na ika-21 ng Setyembre, gugunitain natin ang ika-50 taon ng Deklarasyon ng Batas Militar. Marami pa ang hindi nakakakuha ng hustisya, lalo na ang mga biktima ng mga human rights violations, ng extrajudicial killings, ang mga pamilya ng mga desaparecidos at ang mamamayan na biktima ng pandarambong. Hindi pa po tapos ang pag-compensate at pagkilala sa mga biktima ng martial law sa pamamagitan ng RA 10368 o ang Martial Law Victims Compensation Law. Ginoong Speaker, ayon po sa Human Rights Victims Claims Board o yung HRVCB, nasa 2,326 ang nakalista sa mga pinatay o nawawala at nawawala pa rin hanggang sa kasalukuyan. 2,104 ang mga na-torture, 3,355 na sa arbitrary detention at 3,318 involuntary exile. Ngunit hindi pa ito ang totoong bilang dahil mailap pa rin ang hustisya dahil sa stringent documentation and requirements. Hindi pa rin po automatic ang pagkilala at natanggal po pa po ang mga individual na kasama sa Hawaii class suit na aabot sa 9,539 victims sa listahan ng HRVCB. Kakaunti lamang ang nabigyan ng kompensasyon kung pagbabatayan ang datos ng Amnesty International na nasa 70,000 ang nakulong, 34,000 ang tinorture at 3,240 ang pinatay noong panahon ng martial law. Ngayon na nakabalik na po ang Marcos sa palasyo, asahan po natin ang kanilang rehabilitasyon dahil ito talaga ang kanilang minimiti, ang linisin ang kanilang pangalan at makalimutan ng lahat ang mga pagpatay, pagkawala, paglabag sa karapatang pantao, karahasan at iba pang mga masamang dulot ng deklarasyon ng batas militar. Sinilimulan na po ito sa pagpapakalat ng mga fake news sa kasaysayan at ang kanilang sabi-sabi na golden era accomplishment noong martial law. Nagkakaroon ng malawakang disinformasyon at distortion sa kasalukuyan, sa kasaysayan, lalo pa tayo ay nasa panahon ng social media kung saan mas pinaniniwalaan pa ito kaysa tunay na kasaysayan.
NANI?! お前はもう死んでいる。
Hindi dahil nasa poder ang pamilyang Marcos ay sila ang guguhit ng kung ano ang katotohanan. Kahit kontra ang kanilang naratibo sa naranasang kinabuhay at kinamatayan ng mga mamayan noong dekada 70 hanggang ngayon. Hindi dahil pamilyang Marcos ang nasa kapangyarihan ay libre na silang pasinungalingan batay sa kanilang salita ang mga historical at legal na katotohanan. Hindi dapat makalimot ang mamamayan sa mga kasalanan ng pamilyang Marcos. Kailangan ipaalala sa mga umabot at nakaranas sa panahon ng martial law at ipaalam sa mga hindi pa buhay ang panahong iyon, ang pagmamonopolyo ng pamilyang Marcos sa kapangyarihan, ang kronihismo, pandarambong sa kaban ng bayan at pagsikil sa mga karapatan ng mga mamamayan upang makapaghari sa panahong iyon. Bilang kinatawan ng mga guro, Ginoong Speaker, hinihimok ko ang ating mga kapwa-guro, isa sa mga mahalagang tungkulin na itama ang kasaysayan at ituro base sa katotohanan, figures at facts at actual na karanasan. Kailangang maiwasto natin ang matagal na panahon ng pababaluktot sa kasaysayan at pagtatakip sa mga lagim ng batas militar. Patuloy ang panawagan namin na never again, never forget martial law. Muli, Ginoong Speaker, magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Marami pong salamat.